Top of the morning to you fellow YouTubers. If I still got any followers out there on this channel. So I'm about an hour out of Flagstaff, heading back to Los Angeles. And I just punched in my phone to take a little detour up to Mount Baldy. I love that place. And that love was handed down to me from my parents. My parents started skiing up there in the 50s on wood skis with leather bindings. When Mount Baldy first opened, which was the first ski resort anywhere in California, at least Southern California, they used a V8 engine from a Chevy to use for the first T-chair, I think, or a rope tow, one of the two, but it wasn't a real chairlift. So that's all they had, and that's how Mount Baldy got started. So I was taken up there at first time was 3 years old, and I was told to stand by this tree right where the big line went into the rentals, and basically I was left there all day long. One of my worst memories from childhood, but that's okay. When I hit 8, I started getting lessons up there and learning how to ski, and we would go up to Mount Baldy pretty much at least once a season, and then Big Bear like once a season, and then like Mammoth like maybe once every 3 seasons. But then when I hit like around 25, I started going backpacking up to Mount Baldy. And there's like 3 different areas I love to camp on that mountain. So if one was taken, I could go to another, or if 2 were taken, I could go to the third. And I go up there in the middle of winter and take snowshoes, crampons, ice pick, or hat, whatever they call it. I don't have one anymore. Even had to get a helmet because you'd go under a lot of trees that would have frozen snow, ice, and it would just fall periodically, and you could really get hurt. And then, you know, the bowl, the Mount Baldy bowl is this big bowl, and that's probably the closest I ever came to losing my life. It was real icy, and I was just, you know, like maybe my second time ever using crampons, and I thought I was secure because I had the crampons on. I wasn't being careful, and I lost my footing and just started sliding head first, and within probably 2 or 3 seconds I was up to probably around 30 miles an hour, if not faster. And there was a tree stump there was a cliff beyond the tree stump. This famous actor just died up there. It's really dangerous, this snow bowl, because it gets icy. And I aimed sliding on my hands and knees. My knees were hurting for weeks afterwards because sliding on this pure ice. And I aimed for the tree stump, and by just pushing harder down on that side with my knee and my hand, and went straight into it, broke my nose. I had a Camelback on, so just blood and water. When I hit, the tube came out of the Camelback, and so blood and water went flying everywhere. It was like a liquid explosion of water and blood. Kind of reminds me of Jesus. But yeah, and then as soon as I hit, it was like just pure numbness, water and blood flying everywhere. And then I just see my Olympus camera kept going. It fell from the backpack or somewhere, I don't remember. And I just watched my nice, really nice, like $300 Olympus camera slide off that cliff. But I really went home and felt very, very lucky to be alive, and kind of had to reevaluate my life and what it meant to me, and so on and so forth. It kind of reminds me of the time I was climbing Mount Whitney, and it was right when I was going through my divorce. I had just been through like a horrendous 2 years of marriage, just horrendous. And I hate to admit it, but I was about halfway up, and I threw a campsite, and it was around 6 o'clock, the sun was setting, and a big storm moved in. A lot of rain and lightning. and I was kind of on a mountaintop, and I was around just standing by my fire I had made, and I started crying, and I told God that I didn't want to be here anymore. And sure enough, as soon as I said that, a lightning, which I've shared a video on this once before, but lightning came down probably about 5 yards from me and actually hit the ground. The noise and the vibrations of that scared the living daylights out of me. I think I jumped farther than I've ever jumped in my life. Just jumped away from the lightning and towards this this little ridge that was there, pure rock, that had a full big crevice in it that was maybe about 3 or 4 feet wide, and just took another 2 steps into that crevice and got like hunched down, shaking in fear. And I was just like, this is now like maybe 5 seconds after I had said I don't want to be here anymore. And I said, I'm so sorry, Lord, I take that back. I value my life. I'm sorry for saying that. But yeah, so Mount Baldy, as a lot of you will remember from when I used to make a lot of videos on Simply Biking, I love Bloody Marys, and I love this old Mount Baldy Lodge, because when we would go up there, we'd usually go into this lodge. It has a big old bitchin' fireplace, stone fireplace, 2 moose heads, one above the fireplace, one on the other side over by the pool tables. So it's just a cool old lodge, you know, a neat old bar, 2 pool tables, big old fireplace, a lot of tables for, it was actually a restaurant. And they have cabins there too that you can rent out of the lodge. And so we'd stay at the cabins once in a while, but we'd almost always, after a day of skiing, go into that lodge. So all those times when I'd go up there backpacking, whether it was alone or with Pilar, this girlfriend I had from Spain, or with a friend or by myself, stop by that lodge every time. So I'm gonna make a little detour. It'll take about an hour out of my way, but that'll be fun for me. So happy Monday. I hope everyone's doing well out there, and God bless, and just love wintertime. I've been loving it in Flagstaff. So leave a comment. I'd love to hear from some of my old friends, and I'll talk to y'all later.